Let me show y'all the best fight of 2025. Brandon Royval, Joshua Van. I know you could go back to that fight night and say that was a good fight card back in Baku. You could also do Bilal versus JDM, but this was the fight. Mind you, Joshua Van took this fight on 3 weeks notice. Last fought at UFC 316. You got to give credit to Brandon Royval too. He's from Denver. He's from my home state of Colorado. He took this fight on 3 weeks notice because he was supposed to be fighting Manel Kape, and these boys were fighting like they had $2 in the bank. They were fighting over the last piece of bread. They were fighting over literally their future, their careers, because had Brandon Royval won this fight, he would be getting the title shots. I thought it was 1-1 going into round 3. And if that knockdown did not happen in favor of Joshua Van, then Brandon Royval would still be the #1 contender. But they were going back and forth like a seesaw, back and forth like a toxic relationship. And then boom, out of nowhere, Brandon Royval gets dropped. And that's what all the judges needed to see in order for Joshua Van to get the victory. And he just lined himself up for a shot at the title at 23 years old. This man is 23. I feel so old thinking this. He has earned the respect of everybody in the MMA community. People are saying Van Royval fighting is going into the Hall of Fame for sure. One of the best fights I've ever seen. Another person said, #1 contender at 23 years old. This is how legends are made, and I completely agree. This now sets up the fight with him and Alexandre Pantoja. Finally, Pantoja has some fresh fish in the weight class, and I actually can't wait to see this fight. Now here's where I kind of don't like Pantoja. Yes, Pantoja is a nice guy. I like his story, how he started from the bottom. Now he's one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world today, easily top 5. But fighting wise, I understand it's mixed martial arts. I understand you got to mix it up. I understand you got to use all the arts of fighting within the legal limits of MMA, impose it on your opponent, and use every advantage of that said mixed martial arts to win. But I think the reason why so many people aren't on board with him the same way they weren't on board with DJ is because there's no exciting finishes for both those guys. It's either a decision or it's a submission. It's never a highlight reel knockout like an Alex Pereira, like an Ilia Topuria. It's always, okay, I get hit in the face once or twice, I'm taking this fight to the ground. And if you listen to Pantoja, not even the commentary, but if you listen to the audience for the Pantoja fight, so many people were booing when him and Kai Kara France were on the ground. And I understand that's how good Pantoja is. I understand that his grappling is that good. It made Kai Kara France hesitant to go in and even try and land headshots. He was literally dropping to his knee to throw a simple body shot. That's how good Pantoja is. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I just don't like the fact that, especially in this Joshua Van fight, if they get into a brawl, if they get into a barn burner type of fight, then Pantoja will immediately look to take it to the ground. He won't want to stand up with Joshua Van because Joshua Van, I wouldn't say he has Ilia Topuria power, but he has power enough to catch Pantoja because when I first saw this side of Pantoja was when he fought Brandon Moreno. When he fought Brandon Moreno back at UFC 290, Moreno was winning on the feet all the exchanges. Brandon Moreno will hit him in the face 2-3 times with a jab or a jab cross or a jab cross hook, and Pantoja would be shooting for his life. This is his game plan, and it's been his game plan ever since he won that fight. It was his game plan against Royval. I understand, again, it's mixed martial arts, but it gets frustrating to watch at times. It's annoying to watch at times. DJ kind of did the same thing. Although he had a little bit of better stand-up than Pantoja, he did the exact same thing. He had more submission wins than KO wins, TKO victories, and he has submission victories up his sleeve as well. Him and DJ are kind of the same fighter. You get the idea. So in this fight with Joshua Van and Pantoja, Joshua Van really needs to keep it on the feet. If he could keep it on the feet and just really stuff the takedowns and stay off the cage side, Joshua Van could win this fight. He could possibly even knock out Pantoja. I'm not calling Pantoja a glass jaw, but nonetheless, he could get this job done. And I think he will. I'm hoping he will because he is such a fan favorite, and I think it'll be so good for the flyweight division that Joshua Van wins this title, because at the end of the day, Brandon Royval, no matter, even if he lost this fight, and props to him for fighting such an amazing fight, even though he just lost this fight, he is one fight away, one win away from being in the conversation for a shot at the title. He gets that victory. Who's to say Joshua Van and Brandon Royval don't run it back for the title? I guarantee you that wasn't the only time these men will fight. I'll watch this fight 10 times a day, easily, for the next time until these guys fight. It was that good of a fight, and easily the best fight of 2025. Put your money that they will have a rematch sometime in the next 2 years or so.